Hello? Oh, stop here. Hello, Stewie.
I'm going to mute for a second. I'll be with you.
Gotcha.
Aha.
Okay, there you go. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for coming. Any questions? We are here to celebrate both Shabbat and Yontif. And according to my luach, my schedule, this is the eve of the third day of Chol HaMoed. Right. Well, let's take it from there. Okay. Right. And Yishur is on deck. The significant thing about this service is that we have to observe two things. We've got Shabbos and we've got Yontif. But at least for the first part of the service, Shabbat takes a back seat and Yontif is in the forefront. The reason for that being that, I guess, Yontif is an occasional thing and Shabbat is, we expect, after every single holiday. Now, Shabbat we expect after every single weekend. So, be that as it may, let's get started. The adjustment to the service is that we do not do the Psalms in the front. We don't do L'cha Dodi. We have to start from Mizmor Shir. But it is the minhag, it is the custom of this congregation that we never have a service for Shabbat without the Shalom Aleichem. So let's get started. Here we are on page 13. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Hasharet Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Achem L'Shalom Malachi Hashalom Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 Baruchuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tzedchem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lai 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la la. It's kind of sad. Well, we could do Yedid Nefesh. I'm going to. I just did a psak halacha, a ruling of Jewish law, because I don't think they had Yedid. Well, they must have had Yedid Nefesh. I think it's more Sephardic than anything else. Hello, Lily. How are you? I asked Kirby if he wanted to participate. I don't think you guys, I don't know if your volume is on. Are you the lower left-hand corner? Just get rid of that nasty old red stripe and we'll be in business. Okay. Soulmate, loving God, compassion's gentle source, take my disposition and shape it to your will. Like a darting deer, will I rush to you before your glorious presence. Humbly will I bow. Let your sweet love delight me with its thrill, because no other dainty will my hunger still. How splendid is your light, illumining the world. My soul is weary yearning for your love's delight. Please, good God, to heal her, reveal to her your face, the pleasure of your presence, bathed in your grace. She will find strength and healing in your sight. Forever will she serve you, grateful with all her might. Die, 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 yada, die, 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 yada, die, 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 yada, die, 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 yada, die, 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 yada, die, 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 yada, die, 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 yada, die, 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 yada, die, 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die die die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die die die. Die die. That's very nice. Okay, let's move on. Sadly, we've got to move on to. Well, I think no, we're not allowed to do that. You're waiting for the prayer book police to come to your house and do it. Did you do that psalm? Don't do that psalm. Okay. Lecha dodi likrat kala. This is page 21. Hinei Shabbat nekabila. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Hinei Shabbat nekabila. Keep and remember we're uttered as one by our Creator beyond comparison. The Lord is one and his name is one, reflected in glory, in fame, and in praise. Licha dodi, likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat, nikabila. Come, let us greet Shabbat, Queen sublime, fountain of blessing in every clime. Anointed and regal since earliest time, in thought she preceded creation 6 days. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat, nekabila. Let's do the third stanza. Holy city, majestic, banish your fears. Arise, emerge from your desolate years. Too long have you dwelt in the valley of tears. God will restore you with mercy and grace. Lecha dodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabila. See, Lily was surprised that I threw in that third one because she doesn't usually expect it. Okay, the fourth stanza, I guess we're all standing in front of our mental arc. Boi v'shalom ateret pala, gam b'simcha u'tzala, toch emune am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi, likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat, nikabila. Be seated. We're on page 23. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Let's read responsively. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God, together to affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai! Your designs are beyond our grasp. The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this. The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble. But me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed as with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the doom of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Plant in the house of Adonai. They will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant. To proclaim Adonai is just, a rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzaddik Tamar Yifra Ki Erez Balavanon Yeske Shitulim Beveit Adonai B'chatzrut Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun B'seva Tishenim Pirananim Yehu Lehagi Ki Yashar Adonai Suri Velo Avlatabo. That's very nice. Page 24. This is a very short little psalm. Psalm 93. I must look it up. What's fascinating over there is that Adonai is sovereign. Okay, fine. Your kingdom stands from earliest time. Also okay. Yet above the crash of the sea and its mighty breakers is Adonai our God supreme. I don't know where the author of this psalm wandered, but the Mediterranean has no crash of the sea or mighty breakers. It also has no undertow. It has no up and down. It's a very Jewish sea, I like to say. It lies there. It's very nice, but and you can swim there. It's always very pleasant. Okay, let's do this in the English. Adonai is sovereign, crowned with splendor. Adonai reigns, robed in strength. Together you set the earth on a sure foundation. You created a world that stands firm. Your kingdom stands from earliest time. You are eternal. The rivers may rise and rage. The waters may pound and pulsate. The floods may swirl and storm. Yet above the crash of the sea and its mighty breakers is Adonai our God supreme. Your decrees, Adonai, never fail. Holiness befits your house for eternity. That's a fascinating psalm for the very least because it takes natural phenomena and compares them to God because God's in control. They did not live, our ancestors did not live in a world of science. They lived in a world of magic and superstition. So really believing in one God under those circumstances was a big deal. Okay, let's take a look. All right. Yeah, this is very nice. Page 26, the second stanza. We'll just read this and then I'll deliver my remarks about the Torah portion. It was taught by Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. Shabbat protested before the Holy Exalted One, sovereign of the universe. Everything has a partner, but I have no partner. The point is that the sun had the moon, and the mountains had the oceans, and the plain had the highlands, and so on. And every day of the week, let's see, Sunday had Monday, Tuesday had Wednesday, Thursday had Friday, but Shabbat was all by itself because clearly there are 7 days in the week, not 6 or 8. And God said, let's see, The congregation of Israel will be your partner. When Israel stood before Mount Sinai, the Holy One admonished them, remember what I told Shabbat, the congregation of Israel will be your partner. This is the meaning of the commandment. Where is the commandment? Zachor et Yom HaShabbat l'kadsho. Remember the day of Shabbat to make it holy. Because to sanctify it also means to be married to, because Israel is supposed to be married to Shabbat. Well, let's take a look. The Torah portion for this Shabbat is, okay, Achrei Mot, which means after the death of the two sons of Aaron. After the deaths of Nadav and Avihu, you see he had four sons. There was Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Itamar. After Nadav and Avihu were stricken down and killed by God because they made a mistake. They did something wrong. They took some alcohol before they entered the sanctuary. They messed up the recipe for the incense because they were nervous. We'll never really know. The majority opinion is that they took a little sip of schnapps or the equivalent before they entered the sanctuary because they were nervous. And significantly, the prohibition against drinking alcohol before entering the sanctuary is mentioned immediately after the deaths of Nadav and Avihu. So let's see. So what does God warn against after the deaths of Nadav and Avihu? God warns against unauthorized entry into the holy, because the holy place is special. That's why I know some churches, for example, when they do their blessing of the animals, they'll allow the dogs and cats and gerbils and fish and those sorts of things into the sanctuary. We've never done that, and I think it's the right thing to do. Even though, your dog may say, how come I don't get to go to shul? Well, that's the way it is. Okay, only one person, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, may but once a year on Yom Kippur enter the inmost chamber. I first read that, interestingly, not in the Torah, but in the introduction to Saul Ansky's play, The Dybbuk, which is a very powerful. It's put on from time to time, never seems to get old. Well, in this instance, what happens is that he has an introduction to the play, which really has nothing to do with the play, but it's still a good introduction. He says that there is the holiest person on earth. That is the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. And there's the holy place, which is the Kadosh Kadashim, the Holy of Holies. And there's the holiest day of the year, which is Yom Kippur. And once a year, the three holinesses come together. The Kohen Gadol, the high priest, enters the Holy of Holies, and he pronounces the name of God. And that is somehow very appropriate because we need holiness in our lives. You can't just go through life always being secular. I mean, secular is fine, but it doesn't really go with the religion idea. So and then Ansky goes on to say, every day of the year is like Yom Kippur. Every place on earth is the Holy of Holies, and every human being is the high priest. And I've always been very attracted to that because it gives you a pinnacle to climb towards. It gives you a goal to bring holiness into this often sinful world. That's why, for example, when I was thinking about it, I remembered what our friend Dan Dobin said, which is that the Israelis, they are all mourning, but they have no time to sit Shiva because they have got to get about the business of celebrating life. I did read some reports of this year's Yom Kippur, and a lot of people were saying, how can I make, I don't mean Yom Kippur, how can I make Pesach if my heart is broken? But that is, I think, the majority of life, the life for the majority of Israelis, that you have got to keep on doing the work. Somebody has to do the work. Well, another feature of Yom Kippur, and I honestly cannot, I mean, I know why we're doing it. We're reading Achrei Mot. We're reading this Torah portion because it's the time of year that it belongs. But I have some questions about why they're talking about it. I mean, Pesach has its own holiness, hi Ron, and Yom Kippur has its own holiness. They're two different holinesses. On Pesach, we celebrate the holiday by eating. It's historically, Jews have sat around and said, "Oh, it's a shame we can't have chametz, we can't have buttered toast. Never mind, let's have some more matzah and cream cheese and jelly." So, some way or other, we managed to console ourselves. But in this instance, again, talking about Yom Kippur, of all things, he talks about the two goats. There are two goats that are offered on Yom Kippur, I suspect in the morning. That is, one of them becomes the korban or the korban, the sacrificial offering. And the other one I feel is particularly tragic. It's the Azazel. Azazel was originally a demon, a desert demon. And you can imagine in the desolation of the desert, it's fairly easy to believe in demons. And Azazel, in this case, is the second goat. What Aaron or somebody else did was he took a red thread and he tied it between Azazel's horns. Let me find you the Azazel. Here we go. All right. This is actually Mexican, but I'm cheating a little. Those are the horns. So you would take a red thread and tie it between the horns of the goat. And then what would happen to this goat? It would be sent out into the wilderness, and eventually, and this is particularly hard for me to accept, it would be tossed over a cliff so that it broke its neck. But the significance of this goat is that Aaron would place his hands, as they say, upon the head of a goat. I'm not sure if that's a Bathsheba Singer story or what. I think it might be. And he would mystically transfer all the sins of the people of Israel onto the head of the goat. So this goat would become literally a scapegoat for all of the sins of Israel. And the scapegoat, of course, is not an office, is a position in which the Jewish people have found themselves for so many centuries. The world is much more comfortable with us as victims rather than not victims. And it'll be significant to see how we get out of this current fix, this historical thing. Okay. All right. I would love to answer any questions. I know we have some. Okay, this is very nice. We have a very diverse population. Okay, let's go on. You do not bring korbanot anywhere but in the holy temple. And there's the rub, okay? Why can you only bring offerings, sacrifices in the holy temple? Because when David became king, you had all these neighborhood shrines. You had a stone in one neighborhood, you had a tree in another, and the people would use that as their own personal offering place. Some people, as I said, would sprinkle the blood on the stone. Some people would splash the blood onto the roots of the tree, and it was comforting to them. They would stand there after making their offering, and while it was roasting, I suppose, they would say, "This is so important for me. My great-grandfather made sacrifices here, my grandfather, my father, and now I'm doing it." But along came King David, and what did he want? He wanted central worship. He wanted all the people of Israel to bring their sacrifices in the same place. And that, of course, was Yerushalayim, was Jerusalem. In the beginning, Jerusalem was not that significant. It was a relatively minor Jebusite city. And because it was in the hills and the mountains, it wasn't that easy to reach. But David chose it. I'm sorry, God chose it. Okay, sure. But David chose it because he believed in central worship. It is the same reason David chose Jerusalem. That's for the same reason that our founding fathers chose Washington, D.C. Washington was a terrible place at first. It was right next to a swamp. You had plenty of mosquitoes from malaria. And when the Civil War began, it was on the boundary of several slave states. But that was the way it had to be. So what happens is that David was able to make centralized worship, and that is why you daven. They say in Jerusalem you pray, in Tel Aviv you play, and that's what they're still doing today. I mean, God shouldn't punish me, but I must tell you, Jerusalem is beautiful. It has remarkable architecture and all kinds of shops and so on. But in my heart of hearts, I still prefer Tel Aviv because I'm a city boy. Anyway, okay, so we've got that. Don't eat blood. Don't commit incest or other deviant sexual relations. I suppose it all comes down to like the blues song, "Whom Do You Love?" I I think they once again they had to standardize human relations because the important thing about sexual relations was reproduction, and those other things are either illegal or you're wasting your time. So and Jewish people, even today, as I've said before, the young people, the soldiers on leave, the young women who don't serve or have served or whatever, they are all looking online. They are all looking at Facebook and X and those other services because they are interested. They are obsessed with finding someone to love, someone to settle down with. So here, once again, is the true strength of Israel. The idea of falling in love, getting married, and having babies. So maybe this Pesach will turn out to be a little better than we possibly thought. Okay. Well, thank you so much. That was nice. The men that they say the rabbi who praises himself has a congregation of one. So page 28, we'll do the Baruch Hu. Are we Stuart? Are we minionized? Do we have people online? Oh, you're beautiful. Thank you. Love that shirt, I must say. Okay. Please rise. Oh, there's East. Okay. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Voed. Amen. Let's be seated. And let's read the paragraph above the line. See, you think I'm only reading the paragraphs below the line, but I'm not. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe. Your word bringing the evening dusk. You open with wisdom the gates of dawn, designed the day with wondrous skill, set out the succession of seasons, and arranged the stars in the sky according to your will. Adonai Tzvaot, you create day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Eternal God, your sovereignty shall forever embrace us. Praise you, Adonai, for each evening's dusk. Umhavir yom umevi laila, avdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam vawed. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Varavim. Amen. Page 29. Let's read the paragraph below the line. Torah, responsively, Torah is a closed book till it is read with an open heart. House of Israel, great and small, open your hearts to the words of Torah. Torah is demanding, yet sweeter than honey, more precious than gold. House of Israel, young and old, open yourselves, heart and soul, to its treasures. Torah sanctifies life, teaches us how to be human, holy. House of Israel, near and far, cherish the eternal sign of God's love. Torah is given each day, Each day we can choose to reject or accept it. House of Israel, now is at Sinai. Choose to accept and be blessed by its teachings. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisroel. Amen. Page 30, we have the Shema. Let's cover our eyes. Shema Yisroel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Uncover the eyes. Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Liholam Voed. And in the English, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. All right. Let's move on to, I think, page 31, the very bottom paragraph on the right-hand side with the Gerer Rebbe. I don't know much about the Gerer Rebbe. I've read stuff by him, but I should look him up. Together, the Gerer Rebbe said, when one learns the Torah, prays much, and begins to think, I am truly pious, I overlook nothing in the performance of my religious duties. Such a one transgresses the command, do not be seduced by your heart, nor led astray by your eyes. Let such people look at the tzitzit and be reminded who they are. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rabbi. Page 32, middle of the page. Mi chamocha v'helim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh. No ratilot osef ele. Mahut karovanecha v'keayam lefnei Moshe. Ze'eli anu v'amru. Adonai imloch v'olam vohed v'nemar Ifad Adonai et Yaakov u'gialo mi'ad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai go'al Yisroel. Amen. On the top left of 33, we have the paragraph with which we are familiar. That is for the Cholim. I think what we'll do this week is everybody think about the person they know or persons who are not well and pray for them to have refuah shlema. And okay, I'm thinking of Laura Durant. Yes. Okay. All right, let's read together the English paragraph on the top left of 33. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies, pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Aporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisroel, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol ha'olam kulo. Amen. Page 34 is the Visham. Vishamru v'nei Yisroel, et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם, Brit Olam, Vishamru, Bnei Israel, et HaShabbat, Lasod, et HaShabbat, Lidorotam, Brit Olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti liolam, oti liolam, oti liolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, lasot et HaShabbat lidorotam brit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim, et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat lasot et hashabat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vainafash, Shabbat vainafash, Shabbat vainafash, Vishamru, B'nei Yisrael, et hashabat, lasot, et hashabat, lidorotam berit olam. Vayedaber Moshe et Moadei Adonai el b'nei Yisrael. Please rise to the half Kaddish. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yalma divra chirute, v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye v'chol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kahariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yeheshmei rabba mevora, li'olam li'ol me'ol maya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, yitpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, yitadar, yitaleh, yitalal, shemei dekudesha brichu, li'ela, bin kol birchata, b'shirata, tushbechata, b'nechemata, tamiran, b'yalema, b'meru, amen. Now, as I said earlier, Shabbat has precedence here. So we do the Shabbat Amidah beginning on 35b, though in the Shabbat Amidah. No, don't do that. That's the fun. Do the Yal and the Yavo, which is on the bottom of 36, with the assertions for Chag HaMatzot, after which you may be seated. I mean, after the Amidah, you may be seated. Okay, I'm going to ask you, please, to turn to page 36. At the bottom, we'll read the translation of the Ya'aleh V'yavo. Ya'aleh V'yavo literally means cause to ascend and let it come, because we're asking God to bless our holiday. And you'll notice it's Rosh Chodesh and Sukkot and Matzot. All right. Why not Shavuot? They should do it on Shavuot. I'll look it up. Okay, let's read the translation. Our God and God of our ancestors, show us your care and concern. Remember our ancestors. Recall your anointed, descended from David, your servant. Protect Jerusalem, your holy city. Exalt all your people Israel with life and well-being, contentment and peace on this festival of Matzot. Grant us life and blessing. Remember us for good. Recall your promise of mercy and redemption. Be merciful to us and save us. We place our hope in you, loving and merciful God. And the last two lines, may we witness your merciful return to Zion. Praised you, Adonai, who restores the divine presence to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, machazir shchinato l'tzion. Shechina, of course, is God's feminine self, and the Ribbona Shalom, the sovereign of the universe, is up in heaven. Shechina, the feminine part of God. It doesn't mean we're talking about dualism, no. But somehow we believe that God has both a masculine and a feminine presence. All right, let's do this. Continuing. Page 47. All right, I hope you have your cups ready. We're not doing the Kiddush now, but you have a couple of minutes to charge your cups. Page 47. This is Shabbat Chol HaMoed, so we do the top paragraph. Vayechulo Hashemayim ve'oretz v'chol tzivaham. Vayechal Elohim. Vayom hashvi melakto asher asa. Vayishbot bayom hashvi mikom melakto asher asa. Vayevorech Elohim et yom hashvi vaykadesh oto. Kivo shavat mikom melakto asher bar Elohim lasot. I'm doing in the middle of 47 in the Hebrew. I'm doing the middle paragraph on the left because it includes the matriarchs. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Oel Agadol Gibor ben Ara, El Elyon, Onei Shamayim V'Haaretz. This part I'm going to sing now. You can sing as well. It's transliterated at the bottom of 47. Ogin Avot Bidvaro, Echaye Metim B'Mamaro, Oel HaKadosh Shehin Kamohu, Amen Niach B'Yamo, Yom Shabbat Kadsho, Ivam Ratzah Le'aniach Lahem, Ivam Ratzah Le'aniach Lahem, Lefanav Nabod B'yirah v'pachad, V'nodeh Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid Mein Havra. Ahudahut Don Hashalom Mikadesh HaShabbat Umvorech Shevi Umendiach Liabo Liam Vidushnei Neg Zecher Lemase Vireshit Zecher Lemase Vireshit. And the top of 48. Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ritzei, Vimnuchatenu, Kadeshenu, Vimitzvotecha, V'tein Chelkenu, V'toratecha, Sabenu, V'tuvecha, V'samchenu, V'shuatecha, V'taher, Libeinu, Liavdecha, V'emet, V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, V'yava, Uvratzon, Shabbat Kachecha, Yanu Uva Yisroel, Mekadeshei Shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. This is the bottom. We'll do the full Kaddish, bottom of 48. Yitkadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yalmad Yivrach Yiruteh, Yamlich Machuteh, V'chayechon V'yimechon, V'chayei L'chol Beit Yisrael, Agalov Izman Kariv, V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Bevorach, Li'olam Li'ol Me'ol Maya, Yitbarach, Barach V'yishtabach V'yipoar, Vitromam Vietnase, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmeda Kudasha, Rihu, Lielam and Kabachata, Vishirata, Ushpata, Venachmata, Damiran Bialmavi and Bru, Amen, Tikabal, Slowtone, Uva Utone, the Israel, Kadamavuhon, Divishmaya Vimbru, Amen, Yehe Shalama Rabam in Shemaya, the Chaimalenu, Yal Koyasrav Vimbru, Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom leinu, bi'al kol Yisroel, bimru, amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, bi'al kol Yisroel, yase shalom. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisroel. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisroel. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisroel. V'al kol yoshvei tevel, dimru amen. All right. Next. The Kiddush. All right. Does everyone have their wine cup? This is not my wine cup. This is actually Tyler from her bat mitzvah back in 97. So, oh, that's pretty. Savri Marnan Rabbanan Rabbatai, Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, Ore pri hagafen. Amen. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, Asher kiddushanu mitzvota, Ratzavanu, V'Shabbat kadsho b'ava, Uvratzon hinchilanu, Zikaron lemase, Bereshit, Yehu Yom Techila, Lemekrai Kodesh, Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim, Ivanu Vacharta, Yotanu Idashta, Bikol Hoamim, B'Shabbat Kadshecha, B'Ava Uvratzon, Inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim, l'shalom, of simchas. All right. You'll notice we didn't do the Kiddush for festivals. It's still Shabbos. Page 51 is the Aleinu. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach, ladon hakol, latet gedula, liotzer breshit, lo asanu, kigoye, haratzot, v'lo samanu, mishpachot adama, shelo sam, chelkenu kahem, v'gahor aleinu, kechol hamonam, אנחנו קוראים, משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשה יקרו שמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו, Einod, Emet Malkeinu, Efesulato, Kakatu, Vitorato, Idatayim, Iadatayim, Ashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai, Hu Elohim, Bashamayim, Bimahal, V'al Haaretz, Itachat, Eno v'nemar v'chaya Adonai l'melech al karetz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad u'shemo echad. All please remain standing for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Amen. V'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yimechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agalal v'zman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach v'amomel maya. Yitborach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar shomam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei dekudesha b'reichu. V'yelam min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata ta'miran b'yalma v'yibru, Amen. Yehei Shalom Rabba v'Shemaya v'chayim aleinu kol Yisrael v'yibru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav u'yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yal kol yoshvei tevel v'yibru, Amen. So once. Okay, yes. All right, I think now, Rita, would you like to give the announcements? Okay. Stewie, you wanna? Give the president the floor. Thank you. So I'll mute.
Yeah, good Shabbos, everyone. Lovely to see you. We have so many people on Friday night on Zoom. I'm so excited. And very happy that this is the first Zoom Friday night service of the summer season. It's lovely to be with all of you, and I hope that each and every one of you spent a beautiful Passover, had a lovely Seder with family and friends, and possibly have attended, I know some of you here attended our community Seder as well. It's wonderful to celebrate such the ancient privilege of being freed from slavery and to be together again. Tomorrow at our regular Saturday service, we are going to be doing our Yisker service. It sometimes works out better for us to celebrate on a Shabbat when it's hard to get our clergy in for a holiday that falls or an observance that falls during the week. So you can join us tomorrow on Zoom as well if you like, but of course come in live. The books of remembrance are out and waiting for you, and we can celebrate Shabbat and do our duty for those who are no longer with us, but who will love forever. So I hope to see you tomorrow. Next week, everything begins again. Our Women's Circle meeting on Monday morning at 10, our Canasta at 11, on Thursday, Mahjong, Rabbi's classes on Wednesday at 4 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. And tomorrow, Rabbi, are you doing your class after the
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I
And
hope people will come.
what's the subject?
Jewish ethics.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat the ethics.
Yeah.
All right,
I'd like to ask you a question, though.
sure.
You know, if everybody doesn't mind. I was speaking with a very dear friend who felt that her Seder was a kind of tamped down in feeling because of what's going on in the world, and because there was a feeling that we were again the others. We're somehow the others. And I'd like to know your thoughts about that.
That's a very astute observation because, of course, we have our current Saras, but if you take the long view, if you look into Jewish history, you find that so many times Jews are like the kid, the little boy or girl with their face pressed up against the toy store and thinking, well, can I come in too? I know this time will pass. The people of Israel will go on, and all of this other business will be just some noise in history. I have to believe that because we have been through this before. It doesn't matter who the enemy is, doesn't matter what the crisis is. We survive because Am Yisrael Chai, and because God has made to us several promises. No promises more obvious or significant than on Pesach. I took you out of Egypt. I saved you from Pharaoh. I redeemed you from slavery. And I took you to be my people. And of course, the fifth promise, which is related to the Elijah's cup, is that God will at some point bring us into the land of Israel. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. The Jews have got to stand together at this time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much. Always great to hear from our president. And on page 54 with the Adon Olam.
Rabbi, if I may,
Please go ahead.
After Adon Olam, if y'all want to unmute and greet each other, go for it. I'm the stand-in, so I rule. You can unmute yourselves and have a nice visit for a few minutes after the Adonalome. How's that?
Thank you, Stu. That's very thoughtful,
You're welcome.
really. And I knew it was Stuart because he has a beard. Okay.
Good call. Good call.
All right. We're going to try. If this doesn't work, we'll switch to the other tune, but it's a tune from the Haggadah. So I'm not doing any innovations here. Adon Olam Hashem Olam Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Liet Nasa V'Chavtzo Kol Azai Melech Shimo Nikra Azai Melech Azai Melech Shimo Nikra Yachare Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu yeh b'tifara, v'hu yeh b'tifara, v'hu echad v'yein sheni, lehamshilo lehachbira, v'li reshi, v'li tachlit, v'lo haoz v'amisra, v'lo haoz, lo haoz, v'lo haoz, Misra, Behu Eli, Bechai Goali, Betzur Chavli, Bietzara, Behu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat Kosi, Biomekra, Menat Kosi, Menat Kosi, Menat Kosi, Biomekra, Biado, Afkid Ruchi, Bietishan, Biahira, Imruch Yiviati Adonai li Veloira Adonai li Veloira. All right, the closing benediction. You may stand, please. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. If the Lord bless you. Yo'er Adonai panav elecha v'chudeka. Did the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you? Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom. Did the Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace? We'll say Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Okay, time to schmooze. Want to thank Stuart Pepper for manning the boards.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We had a nice view of all the whole.
Okay. Let's see Lily, Paul. Pick up the baby. She's a pushy little thing, isn't she?
Yeah, she's really sweet.
Okay. All right. Quick. Were your matzo balls light and fluffy or cannonballs?
They were the combination.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I didn't make them myself, so they were delicious.
There you go. Who used
I
somebody
schlepped
used
over 100 of them to Mexico.
really? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
100 frozen matzo balls.
Gonna talk.
What's in the bag, sir?
Did you get any problem with customs?
No,
They didn't know what
they didn't understand the custom, so we just came through.
Who are you bringing them to?
We did a Seder for 50 of us with my brother's home in a little town called Puerto Penasco in Mexico, right in the Sonoran Desert, right on the coast of the Sea of Cortez.
Oh my.
Wow.
And it's only about a 4-hour drive from Phoenix, so it's pretty easy, and we go there all the time, and we had a blast.
But without matzo.
We had matzo balls.
No, I meant you don't always go there with matzo balls.
Yeah, well, at Pesach I do, yeah.
No, I'm aware. I was just okay. Oh my. Really?
Is this a test?
Yes. How were they? Were they fluffy or
Yes,
cannonish?
they were
Okay.
both.
That's good. Oh yes, you mentioned. Very good. Anybody else? Passover customs? The Samaritan Jews, I don't know if there are very many of them left, but they used to take the afikomen and put it in a sack and fling it over their back. And one of them would leave the house, and then he would knock on the door, and they would say, "Who's there?" And he would say, "I come all the way from Israel to tell you Messiah is coming." It was a whole play acting kind of thing. I think we need that.
That would be kind of nice if someone knocked on the door and said,
Yeah.
Messiah's coming.
Yes.
That would feel
Yes.
awfully good.
Yes, very good. All right.
Maybe it'd be fun to reenact those kind of things like at one get together or after a Shabbos service, after a Kiddush, kind of take a look at those unusual things.
Yes, this is all from the Passover anthology, which came out in the 1960s. The editor or author was Philip Goodman. Yeah, at the time he was a big noise in the Jewish Publication Society.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what you were saying before, can we, because I can't bear the thought of the scapegoat. There's two versions of that, they let it go free in the forest to take the sins away. And then there's the over the cliff with the broken neck.
Yeah.
Can we choose to go with the idea that it just went into the forest?
I would put it into a petting zoo. That's what I would do. I figure if you accumulate enough scapegoats over the years, they can relate their particular experiences. I don't believe in killing an. It's enough that I'm carnivorous, but I don't believe in killing an animal violently. That's very
Right, and I
sad.
like to feel like God doesn't believe in that either. I
Right.
mean, that's why I like to think of him just going, because they do say that they let him into the wilderness
Yes,
rather
but that's
than
yeah.
the cliff thing.
No, right, but I don't think the poor little goat would have much chance of surviving in the wilderness either, with all kinds of predatory animals. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes, as I held him up before, this is my goat. He stands on the shelf and gets dusty.
And you keep him safe.
Yes, he's Mexican, as a matter of fact. Stuart, anybody you
Oh, yeah.
recognize? I found him.
That's a point here. Okay, never mind.
I found him in the antique store at the flea market. Yeah, he called out to me. He said, "Take me home. I will be your scapegoat. Just don't escape me." Yeah.
And
All
Stu,
right.
thank you for letting us all be on the video. Because he
Yes.
You're
turned that on.
welcome.
Yeah.
Since I'm the fill-in audio visual person,
Mhm.
I changed the rules. But
We appreciate that you
Doreen,
did.
so that's
I
fine.
know
And
she
I'll
she
suggest-
doesn't like to.
I'll suggest that we do this at the end of services on Shabbat Eve again, because we've done that in the past, and everybody seems to like that, so.
Yeah, she has her reasons. I've discussed it with her why she doesn't do it, but this is like a good compromise.
Okay, there we go.
Especially now when a sense of community means so much.
Right.
I think it's wonderful.
And
And
especially since you're not doing the service in the synagogue now, we're all here together. It's
Yeah.
nice.
that's right,
Yes.
that's right.
Right.
And the turnout is much larger on Zoom than it has been the last
In the
few
synagogue.
times in the synagogue.
I know.
Yeah, this turns out to be lovely. I'm very happy to see Steve Hanshu here. Hi, Steve.
Yes.
Because I know that this wasn't.
If it wasn't for Gail, I wouldn't be at this service.
Well, you have a great wife, so I'm very glad that.
Well, you asked for, I don't know why you asked for a password I've never used.
Me? I didn't ask you for anything.
Well, this thing says, I go to Zoom, click on it, put my email, and then they ask for a password. What password?
No, you went the wrong direction. You went the
Yeah.
wrong direction, Steve.
Well, the
You
direction I
just
was-
simply, go to the temple website, templeshalomflorida.org, and
went
click
to the
on the
letter.
join the Shabbat
Right, me.
service.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
simple.
we're happy to see you, even if you're
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome,
only
welcome.
slightly.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Say the
okay.
word, Steve, say the word and I'll come to your house with 500 matzo balls.
Okay.
And
You
wish,
pick up the
wish
phone
Gail,
on Shabbos?
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Oh,
wish,
okay.
wish Gail a very good Shabbos, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You have a lovely wife. Okay, we're tuning out.
Yes.
All right,
Okay, so
everybody,
are we.
have a good night.
Good
Shabbat
night.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
Shabbos.
Good night.
Good
Bye.
Thank you. Good night, Arnold.